My name is Taurus Plays, and welcome to a new Taurus Talk episode. I have just Tig with me. Love will not be joining us because she has had some medical stuff come up, such as tics and stuff like that, and she's just not feeling comfortable doing this at the moment. I'm not going to say more about what's going on with her. I'm going to leave that up to her if she would like to talk about that, but I have let her know that if and when she becomes comfortable again, she is more than welcome to join us. Or actually, what I wanted to do is I wanted to do some separate recordings with Tig and with Love, because to be quite frank, my YouTube channel is basically all Dead by Daylight. Well, it's not, but it is, and so I just want to add more stuff, more of like a behind the scenes with Taurus Plays, if you will, because my main thing is Twitch, and all the linkage and stuff will be added underneath in the description. But it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had an episode because Tig has also had some medical stuff come up, and if she wants to talk about it, she can, but she doesn't have to. And she's also had some other personal stuff like losing a family member happen and stuff like that too. So again, if she wants to talk about that, she's more than welcome to. If she doesn't, that's okay too. But even if those things didn't happen, a lot has happened in this world that we want to talk about and we want to discuss. And because we're Tauruses, you know that we're not going to bullshit you. Even though it's in the title, really? If you will. Yes, I did. You know, we're not going to bullshit you. We're going to tell you how it is, how we feel, how probably a lot of people feel that don't feel like they can actually speak up and say how they feel, but we're going to do it for them. Yay. So, of course, with the topics that I got, I pretty much went in ABC order because OCD, hello. But the very first thing that I have on the list is Black Lives Matter, or, you know, we can also talk about the people, the big names that we lost this year, but Black Lives Matter has been around for a very long time, They had a huge spotlight this year because of George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor, and I'm sorry if I'm saying any of those names incorrectly, I really don't mean to, because these are people that need to be remembered, they're people that need to be respected, they're people that need to be seen forever and always, and like I said, there are many other names that haven't been unfortunately added to that list that have been killed because of police brutality, and it's just not fair, it's not right, it's a horrible, awful thing, and I don't know how I can stress that enough, but believe it or not, there's still people in this world who believe that what happened was just and fair and right, and I cannot wrap my fucking mind around it to save my life, and I'm not even saying that because of what has happened or anything like that. I'm just saying I don't know how people can stress more than what they already have, that these are serious situations and they need to be taken care of, and the fact that there has been little to nothing done, there's been no repercussions for what has happened to these people, is just ridiculous. So I leave it over to Tig, who I'm sure has much more to say about this topic than I do, though I am very passionate about it as well.
I will throw in that Black Lives Matter isn't just against police brutality. It's against hate crimes that just go unsolved and shit. I can't remember his name, and I'm sorry for this, but there was a guy, I believe, out in California. Dude was hung, and they ruled it as a suicide. No, as someone who was passively suicidal and knowing others who were actively suicidal, no one commits suicide out in the open. They already feel like a burden, which is why they want to leave in the first place. So no one's going to go out to a clear as day place where everybody can see and kill themselves. That's not something they do. They do that shit in the privacy of their own home. Kind of the way Gloria Bambo was killed. They ruled that as a suicide, but it's not. Her white roommates killed her. They hung her. There's video evidence of it, and they're still ruling it as a suicide. It's fucking ridiculous. And the reason we don't get it is because we're not horrible pieces of shit. We just talk shit, and that's the difference.
Yes, and I will add. I was just going to say, I will add a link to Black Lives Matter to anybody that may want to donate or may want to go to the website in the description below the video.
I would imagine that much like the little 15-year-old that was killed, the name escapes me right now, but that was another hate crime picked up by a friend, we'll say, and his mom came up dead days later, and they filed behind their house, and the people who killed them were caught kind of packing up a U-Haul in the dead of night trying to get away. The police would not put out an Amber Alert for him when the family reported him missing. They said he's probably just at a football game. Yeah, 15 is like, oh, just write it off. He's probably at a football game. Well, maybe he would be if he wasn't dead. Maybe he wouldn't be dead had you done your job in the first place.
Was that the male that was found in like a it was like a mat in the gymnasium, and like nobody knows what happened to him?
That was, his name starts with a K. Kendrick Johnson.
That sounds right. Yeah. We probably should research this, but the point is that there's so many names, and there's so many instances of hatred that it's hard to keep up, and that's why, you know, I just want to stress Black lives being around for just years and years and years, probably like 15 at this point, you know, and I wish they would have been around a little longer, and they probably do too. But, you know, people have to speak up for this stuff.
Yeah.
For these people that can't speak anymore.
Yeah.
Or have been quieted because of money, you know. Just because you get a settlement from a city or a state does not make it okay. It does not replace a life. Especially when you have these children. These children, these people under the age of 18 in America are being killed and slaughtered for no fucking reason. Because they wanted to go get a fucking Slurpee. Okay? Or because they wanted to go see their friend down by the fucking lake and they wanted to wear a hoodie because it was fucking cold that day. Parents should not have to worry about this shit. Regardless of their child's ethnicity or sexual orientation or anything for that matter. They shouldn't have to fucking worry about that. But yet they have to. They have to.
We have a whole different conversation with our kids than a lot of other races do.
And I believe that 100%.
Yeah. I don't want my face and my demeanor to come off as I don't care. I'm tired. I got family members that look just like these people that's been killed. That ain't too much older or younger than these people. My niece is 14. This kid was 15. Their line said he drowned. His face is ripped off. And you found him in the woods. I'm sorry, what sea of trees did he drown in? You can't drown on land. There ain't no quicksand over there. So how did he drown? And what happened to his face even if he did? And
unfortunately, we may never know the answers to these questions because, you know, people sink money and they sink time sometimes when it's convenient for them in these situations in the very beginning. But, you know, days go by, hours go by, months go by, years go by, and they just stop, unfortunately. And part of what Black Lives Matter does is they help to fund people who have been affected by this stuff to do more research or to send detectives to do things or to provide some money so that the family can have proper funerals, maybe, you know. And
recently Black Lives Matter was donating to somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but somewhere had recently had like a wildfire or some tragic thing happened, some natural force tragic thing happened. And so they went out and donated like foods, goods, clothes, whatever to the affected area. Guess who showed up to protest people donating? We know that answer. There ain't but one. Like,
Leave your answer in the comments below. No. But, you know, this should create a conversation, regardless of where it's coming from. You know, something else that kind of came with these lives, especially this year. And one of the topics we have is coronavirus, COVID-19. And this kind of ties both together in a way, is all the protesting and the riots that we had. Now, riots is kind of a controversial thing, and so is protesting. Now, at least from my point of view, these two things are not synonymous with each other, but they have been related to each other in this whole thing. And here's the thing. I want to say that I don't believe in rioting, because I don't believe in breaking the law once a law has been broken, if you will. But the reason why people are rioting instead of just protesting is because you're not fucking listening to them. And they feel like the only way that you're going to listen to them is by breaking shit. you know, and there's something to be said, not just in regards to Black Lives Matter or people dying or anything like that, but what it comes down to is people having mental breaks and people having issues when you're not listening to them, when they are trying to articulate something to you and you're just like, oh, this will go away. No. And Black Lives Matter has done very well at saying this is not going to go away no matter what. Even if somebody else gets killed or whatever, we're still going to be there. We're still going to talk about this, and we're going to keep going back to these people. And people have not forgotten about these people. Some people want to, but they're not going to. And this will be something that continues on for time, always and forever. But just to kind of tie it to coronavirus and COVID-19 and another thing that we're going to talk about a little later, the election, is with all these demonstrations and these protestings and these riotings. I feel like these aren't sounding correct, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. Among all of these collections of people for this stuff, they have never been called a super spreader situation, an event, a super spreader event, because these people wore masks. They washed their fucking hands. They used hand sanitizer. If you go to the videos, every motherfucker is wearing a mask because they know how necessary it is. But you watch these Republican gatherings and they're called super spreader events because they're entitled elitist pieces of shit. And they know it because they can spend, most of them can spend millions of dollars on a fucking vaccine. And, you know, some of them can't afford to fix their fucking teeth, but they got money for a vaccine probably. Sorry, not sorry. but see, the thing is and the other thing is people have said, you know, Black Lives Matter is not a political thing. COVID-19 coronavirus, wearing a mask is not a political thing, but it's been made a political thing. Yeah. Because at the top of politics is where these people can, at the end of the day, really decide to make a decision, a choice, or put into law or not. It is up to them. People can protest all day. They can walk millions of miles. They can cry. They can sweat. They can bleed for these things, but nothing will happen unless a president does something or a governor does something or somebody that is within 10 miles of the fucking White House does something drastic. Nobody's gonna fucking listen. And I'm not saying that because Black Lives doesn't matter, because of course it fucking matters. But they know that at the end of the day, no matter how many miles they fucking walk, unless somebody signs a fucking documentation that says you can't do this to these people and you have to help these people or you have to take care of each other, whether it's mass or Black Lives Matter or whatever, then nothing at the end of the day is going to matter. We have to have people who care at the top and wear suits and ties and yada yada, or nothing is going to get done. Nothing is going to get done otherwise. Yep. So talking
Take
about
some water.
I should, damn it. There's a lot of Italian and gay gesturing and dry mouthedness.
You're getting a workout by talking.
Well, of course. That's the only workout I really get, aside from grocery shopping for 3 or 4 times a month for some reason.
Oh Lord.
So, and we can, once we're done with the topic, we don't have to be done. We can still add stuff to it. And of course, anybody commenting can as well. But in regards to coronavirus, COVID-19, you know, I definitely like to talk about how it has impacted us or our families or whatever, as long as you're comfortable with it. Me personally, all the stay-at-home stuff didn't really affect me. I'm very much a homebody. I don't really like to go out and party and participate in public or anything like that. You know, I just because I've always kind of had like OCD, and I've always kind of had like a you're fucking dirty and this place is gross and I don't want to be part of it unless I can be clean, or make sure that you're fucking clean for that matter. I know I'm a little foggy. It will come back. Hello, I'm here. Hello. I forget how they do these in the thing. I think they, here we go. Has not really affected me per se, because I'm a homebody and I just stay home mostly. However, I will say that I live in a pretty small town, which for the first time ever of living here, I'm very happy for that. I don't live in a big city where there's lots of people that you could possibly get it from. We did have, apparently we had somebody close to where I live who did get it, but they are in the military. There's a military base about 45 minutes from me. And so they live in the city that military base is in. However, they are not here at the moment. So it still kind of like scared people a lot, because they're like, oh my God, you know, our face is gonna melt or whatever. But you know, eventually that didn't happen. And of course there was rumors too, because it's a small town and, you know, things travel around and all that other kind of stuff. So there really haven't been that many like scares, if you will, where I am. There was a woman in the hospital who made everybody very scared, and said, oh, I hear the nurses whispering about me having corona, and they haven't told me, but I hear them whispering. And she posted this on Facebook, and of course everybody got fucking freaked out and scared, and you know, and even though I am in a small town, I was, however, affected by no toilet tissue and no hand sanitizer and no there was something else that people were like hoarding, and cleaning products.
No Clorox for anyone, toilet tissues, paper towels, because you know.
Not sponsored by Clorox, by the way, or Bounty, but there wasn't any of that. Or Quilted Northern, you know, that'd be weird.
Oh my God,
I just pull out a box of Quilted Northern. Please buy and support Taurus's bullshit.
That's horrible.
I don't know. But as somebody who has OCD, like I mentioned, I already had a lot of this shit. So it did affect me too much. It was just like I didn't have a lot to, like when I would go to the grocery store, it was one less thing I was able to pick up, I guess. But you know, I still found stuff where I could, and I still got it. And I will tell you this right now. This is kind of election related, but I definitely feel that when Biden and Kamala Harris goes in office, yay!
Kamala.
No,
Kamala. Say Kamala and then love.
Kamala.
That's it.
Kamala.
Yeah.
Not Pamela. Kamala. When Harris and Biden go into office, when Harris and Biden go into office, I definitely believe that they will put us on a quarantine again, a countrywide quarantine for at least a month and a half. So you better believe your ass that next month I will be going to the grocery store. One cart will be toilet tissue and the other cart will be hand sanitizer, and we'll be fine. And then I'll have another cart with canned goods. You're welcome. All right, I hand it over to Tig so she can talk about how coronavirus has affected her, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, because I'm in a slightly busier area than your end of the neck of the woods. It wasn't that bad at this time, but I remember I was picking up pads for obvious reasons. I'm a girl, kind of need them. Shut up. But I was picking some up and I was getting different kinds because you need your regular shit, you need your overnight shit. Wings,
wings, no wings.
Yeah, that you need different kinds. So I was like, if I get them now, I ain't got to worry about it later. Cool. This lady was eyeballing the hell out of me. It's like, ma'am, I'm not going to rip these up and turn them into toilet paper. Calm your tits. I still need this. Like, she was just really looking. It's like, look all you want. Are you mad because you went through menopause? Go away. But yeah, for weeks, because my job happens to be next to a Publix grocery store. I forgot not everybody has Publix, but it's right next door. For weeks, toilet tissue and paper towels just gone. And I'm like, were y'all not wiping your ass before this? How do you not have any in the house? I don't understand. It's one thing if you're picking up for other folks, but if you got 12 buggies just for you, what were you doing before now? I have questions. I have many concerns, none of which I want the answer to, but you get my point.
It reminds me of that TL show, the Cheapskates or whatever, and this woman, I remember a while back ago, this woman was talking about
extreme
how
couponers.
the whole family uses a fucking washcloth. The whole family.
One?
This is a family washcloth. And they all clean their asses with the same washcloth. And that's what it reminded me of. When people were going crazy, and she was like the only person in this whole world, hopefully, that was like, ha ha, fuck y'all, we did the right thing. No, ma'am, no.
You did not.
No, because she had a 5-member family, if I remember correctly.
18 washcloths for $4 at Walmart.
Yeah, you could all have at least your own washcloth, but this was just one.
Yeah, that's disgusing.
Communal.
Yeah, no, that's unsanitary. Y'all got shit that you don't know you got yet. You can't do that.
Little Billy, like little Sally should not be sharing like that.
You can't do that. Did they share deodorant too? Don't do that.
Family fecal matter.
Basically, family fecal matters. No, this very specific turd playing.
No, no, don't do that. Oh God. Oh, SNL's gonna find out and do a parody.
They probably will, and I hope they do. And I hope I get a check for it.
So do you have? do you have anything more that you would like to add to that specifically? Coronavirus, COVID, anything?
I just want people to stop being so damn entitled and stop being so damn stupid. It's real. Stop saying it's not real just because you ain't caught it yet. It can get your ass.
Yeah.
It can get your ass. It got my grandma. She's still here though. It got my cousin. She's still here though. Those two were blessed. And they're fine now. But the point is they got it. And your unmasked ass will definitely get it running around like this. Stop playing like it's fake. How many people have died from this now? I know we're coming up on some massive number.
Thousands and thousands.
Yeah, I think we're easily at 200,000 right now.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
They're dead. So they fake their deaths? Stop being fucking dumb. And then y'all complain so much. Y'all gotta be real careful about who you complain to. Like, oh, in this mask, I can't breathe. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, Susan. Stairs and been wearing this shit for 8 hours. Shut up. If you can't breathe in a mask, then get a mask you can breathe in. It's that simple.
Well, and relating to the topic we were discussing before, some people can't breathe at all anymore, unfortunately, because of all the shit that has happened.
Yeah,
so you can sit for a few hours in a fucking mask, barely being able to breathe, but don't say you can't breathe because it's bullshit. I will say that the fabric mask that a lot of people like to use and stuff like that, it is harder for me to breathe in those. So I prefer the more blue and pale blue and white, like surgical ones, a lot better. And this is kind of a crazy example of the COVID corona where I live. The only grocery store that we have is a Safeway, and we have 8 or 9 aisles. That's it. I don't know how many exactly, but that's all we fucking have. And they are selling single masks, single surgical mask for $2. $2 a piece. However, if I drive 40 minutes to the nearest bigger city, I could get a 10-pack for $2.
Might as well get the 10.
And that's the difference. Well, yeah, I might as well get the 10, but I didn't fucking know for a while that they were doing that. So I was buying one mask for $2, every time that I would go to the damn grocery store, and I would get multiple, of course, because with those they're supposed to be single use, but honestly, I probably, because again, I don't go out very often, so I probably keep them for about 2 or 3 weeks, because I might, like on an average week, go out once, maybe twice, and that's just kind of where we are right now. I can't just throw them away every time that I've gone out just to go to the post office or something, because I have a P.O. box, or I had to go run to the dollar store to get, I don't know, I was gonna say a pack of gum, but that's a horrible example. Nobody needs a pack of gum, but to get batteries or something. I don't really know, but
I get you.
It's just stupid to me. So if it's not dirty, I pretty much keep it, for a couple trips out of the house, for 2 to 3 weeks max, and then I throw it out and I get a new one.
Yeah, I can admit that there are some materials much harder to breathe in than others. That doesn't make it impossible. The ones we sell at my job, as cute as they are, it's hard for me to breathe in them because they're 100% cotton. So it's thick.
Right.
And so it's harder. But the one I've been wearing, damn it. This is the one I've been wearing. I'm going to buy another one from the same shop.
Cute.
This is breathable jersey mesh. I can leave this on all day and feel perfectly fine. Half the time I forget I'm wearing it. It's just there. Easily to breathe in, easy to talk in and all that good stuff. It's perfectly fine. And I can wear that for 8 hours without... I can't breathe. I can breathe.
And is that from a Black-owned business?
It is!
Okay. Take is a huge purchaser, if you will, of Black-owned businesses. And if you want to send me the link, I will definitely put it down in the description if anybody else wants to support.
I'm grabbing it now.
Perfect. You can just send it in Discord or
I figured I would say
Messenger
it,
or whatever.
Because of how I talk, no one's going to know what the fuck I said. But yeah, I sent the link to the face mask so you can pick your own.
Perfect.
They use breathable kind of a jersey material, and that's what makes it so easy. So yeah, wash it after a while. Since I've been out on leave, it's still fairly clean. I actually need to grab another one and everything, but yeah, just wash it and you're good.
Perfect. And definitely, even if you don't have this mask and you're not going to purchase this mask, wash your masks. Don't forget to do that. Don't forget to just wear them and put them over the fucking nose, but you have to wash them. And
oh my God, the over the nose people.
The other thing that I really want to say, the other thing that I really want to say is,
you have a face boner, put your nose away.
If you're wearing a mask and for some reason you stop wearing it for whatever reason and you put it below your neck, that's also kind of a problem, okay? Because you're taking anything that happened here, sneezing, drooling, a discharge of some reason, you're just bringing it down to your fucking neck, okay? So just don't, that's not much better. You're just keeping shit on you that should not be. But yes, wash your fucking mask at least once a week, minimum. Because if you don't, it's a buildup of all disgustingness. And here's something really stupid. Yes, here's something really stupid that happened in the town that I live in currently. There was this. We have a shit ton of antique stores and fuck, I forget the name, what they're called, the other word for them.
I don't know why, but that does not surprise me at all about your city.
No, we just got a new one today, and it's like the 5th or 6th one.
Of course.
But clothes, where clothes are resold sometimes and stuff too.
What, thrift store?
Oh, what?
Thrift store?
There you go. Thrift store. Thank you. Why couldn't I think of that fucking word? Antique thrift stores. And so anyway, there's this store that said, if you come in, make sure you wear a mask. But if you don't have one, don't worry, because we'll lend you one of ours. No.
Well, when they say we'll lend one of ours, what do they mean?
They literally meant they had a box filled with masks that you could stick your hand in, grab one, wear it. When you would leave, you could put it back in the box. Because they showed the fucking box. I was just like, no. If you were washing the mask and then handing them out that way and saying like, put them in this bin so we can wash them, we know they're dirty, then that would kind of be okay. But I would still be like, nah. But that is not what they were doing. Maybe that's what they're doing now. But this is like when this thing first started, and it was just like, the stupidity. Sometimes
People
I just
hurt.
can't. Just fucking can't.
People hurt.
Yes.
Because like I said, my job will give masks, but they are individually wrapped in plastic.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been touched except by you and whatever little gremlins you brought in with you for some reason, because we have no animals. But Jesus,
Yeah,
stop
didn't
being
make any sense.
dumb. Painful.
How we avoided having a mass infection where I live, it just surprises me because of that.
It's
And something my mom brought up too was, because I live in what I like to call like a glorified retirement community, if you will. It's a lot of people that were like teenagers in the 70s, so they're like old hippies now. And one of the things that my mom said was, it was something about like puff puff pass, and she was like worried about them. And I was like, and she was like, well, what do they do now? They can't just puff puff pass anymore because, you know, they're gonna spread corona. And I'm like, well, I mean, logic would dictate that they would like stop doing that, or they would like, I don't fucking know, like do a bowl instead.
It's BYOB
really
now.
know.
Bring your own blood.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Or if they hookah.
Yeah,
If
you
they
could do the hookahs. You could do the hookahs.
Yeah, they'll give you your own little, I don't know what it's called, but little things you can pull from the hookah. It's a little plastic thing. You get your own. Those come in wrapped in plastic too.
Yeah,
those things, whatever they're called. If
I
they
have
hookah, they
no
can
idea,
do that.
but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the kind of tips I thought we were gonna.
You are terrible.
But I randomly remembered my mom said that though, and I was like, well, they just don't do that. Like, I don't know. I thought that was weird.
This year, not sharing is caring.
Exactly. Yes, we're gonna make it. I'm gonna start selling merch that says that. Trying to think of something else to go along with it, but I can't right now.
If you actually sold that shirt, I'm down. I'm getting it.
I was gonna say like bugs, not drugs, but that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't fucking know. All right. Is there anything else that you want to add to that before we move on?
Just don't be stupid.
Yeah. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Wash it once a week. It's fucking simple.
That scares me. Were y'all not washing your hands either? Just coming out here with shitty booty fingers. Like, what is happening? Why do you have to be told to wash your hands? I don't understand.
And when I first started doing this thing, I would wear gloves. I would wear gloves as well.
I refuse.
But a lot of people have stopped doing that. And honestly, the thing is just don't touch your fucking face, dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's simple.
And
as
if you
well.
have to, sanitize your hands first at the very least, and then do whatever.
And part of my OCD that I've also had for years is I will wash my hands, then I'll sanitize, and then I'll put lotion on them. And I've been doing that for fucking years. So this was not anything
new.
You know, yeah. So I didn't worry about whether I would have to leave the house or not, because I don't. And washing hands and sanitizing was just something I've been doing for years, and other people really should too, because then maybe we'd all get less sick regardless of corona or not. But you know, it's a lot of it is just logic to me, simple logic, and it's always going to be the entitled who believe that they don't have to do any of that shit. Really, a lot of our problems, believe it or not, would be solved if people stopped just being fucking entitled. Really.
Yeah.
And privilege.
No, I totally believe that.
Privilege and entitlement is a very big problem, not just in the U.S. but in general. Honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so we could return to any of these topics at any time, but you know we're us Taurus is like bullet points. So the next thing is DMCA, and this is a big thing that has kind of messed with a lot of content creators, whether you're on Twitch or YouTube, or I'm sure Facebook has issues too. I don't really know.
Probably.
But
this one you're gonna have to break down for me.
And the thing is I want to make it clear that I have never worked for DMCA. I've never worked really in the music industry, but my experience with this has to do with theater. I did theater for many years before I was a content creator, and one of the things that we always had to deal with is getting rights to scripts, transcripts, you know, the stuff that you memorize for plays, and you would have to pay a fee to whoever owned the script. And there's lots of different places that do this. Samuel French is one of the most notable ones, Samuel French Incorporated, but there's a lot of different ones out there. You have to pay a fee so that you can do the play. If you do the play and you don't pay the fee and this gets found out, you could pay upwards of $500,000 per play if they find out. A lot of time they don't find out, especially, you know, I worked for a nonprofit theater organization in my very small town. So the odds of anybody from like New York or Samuel French coming to a production or somebody finding out is very, very, very fucking small, but there's still a chance. The other thing that you can't do that they say a lot in these scripts is that you can't film it and you can't distribute it. You can't put it up online. You can't do anything like that. Unless you own it yourself, you cannot do that. If you want to do that, you can, but you have to pay a lot more money for it. And as a nonprofit theater organization, we could not afford that. Now, here's what relates to music. A lot of times these plays would come with a CD that you could also purchase with the play that the director wanted you to play with the play. But a lot of times they would cost a lot more, and again, nonprofit theater organization, we could not afford it. So we had to find music that wasn't copywritten. Or sometimes there were weird like stipulations that the director or the writer, I should say, of the play would specify you could use this here or whatever, but it would have to be like a suggestion that they had. You could also play music at any point as long as it was before the show, during intermission, or after the show, of course, because then it wasn't part of the show. A good example is of something that just really sucked is one of the shows that I directed. I have directed 2 shows. I produced numerous. I've been an actor in numerous, and etc. Done a lot of backstage work and that sort of thing. But one of the shows that I was directing was by some writers that wrote for the Golden Girls. Surprise, surprise. And they had an incredible script, and it was about these women who lived in North Carolina, and they would rent a cabin once a year, and they would just kind of rekindle their friendships and stuff like that from when they were in college and on a swim team together. And I had this incredible playlist of like, you know, kind of oldies, beach themed songs that I felt people could relate to, and songs about like being a friend and stuff like that. And at the time I didn't know about any of this music stuff. And so one of the people that used to own the theater company told me, you can't do this. And I said, why not? I just want to play these songs. They're perfect. And they said, well, you cannot, unless you want to pay the record label however much they want for these songs. You can't do it legally. And so that kind of sucked. So I had to change some things a little bit. And here's the thing, you know, to kind of relate it all, because obviously people on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that aren't really doing theater unless they are. Just because you purchase a song from an artist does not mean you own it to distribute it to other people.
Right.
And when you are content creating and other people are seeing what you're creating, they are consuming that content. So you are sharing this song with other people who have not purchased this song. And that is what the problem is. And the other thing is that it's not really up to the artist. I hear people all the time saying, you know, I'm going to go on Twitter and I'm going to at this musician so that I can use their music. Well, let me tell you something. Unless they fucking own their own music, which most people do fucking not, you also have to pay their manager, their record label. You have to pay, I don't know, their fucking auntie. I have no idea. But you have to pay all these other people. It's not just about the musician. Very few musicians actually own their own catalog of music. You have to pay somebody else. Even if they're deceased, you might have to pay a brother, a sister, a father, a mother, a sibling. You know, Michael Jackson is a great example of somebody who obviously is passed on, and you can't pay him. You know, he doesn't really have a record label anymore. They don't own his music. You know, I can't remember right now who does, but I know it's a family member. I know that Joe tried at one point. I'm pretty sure got denied, and I was happy for that.
50 freaking brothers.
You know, he's a horrible human being, or was. Did he pass? I don't remember now. But
no, Joe's gone.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, he
was horrible. And if you don't believe me, you can watch the Michael Jackson documentary movie that they air every fucking Christmas for some reason.
Oh, the American Story?
Sure, yeah, there you go. But I remember watching that like every single year during the holidays. I don't know why they show it then. I only remember one scene in the wintertime where there's snow, but it's there every year for some reason.
I never noticed.
I have. It's
always kind of shows up for me.
It's always like the last 3 months of the year for some reason. I don't know why, but Joe Jackson was an abusive, horrible human being, and I have no doubt in that. So
yeah, real quick, just touching on that because a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I got whoopings and all that stuff." That's one thing, but he like mentally tortured his kids as well. There's a reason Michael went so light. It's because he kept being told he's freaking ugly. And I'm sorry, we're not supposed to speak ill of the dead, but I have to say this. You took that shit from him. I get it. I understand it's your dad, but your dad also looks like a melted face mask. Like, come on. Some things you just ignore the fuck out of. I'm sorry.
So other things that I will include in the description below is 3 places I know of that you can play non-copyright music, and it's relatively good. And one of them is there's a group of a band called The Midnight that does own their catalog that has said on Twitter, you can all use our music if you would like to. They are sort of like 80s synthwave, and I play them a lot on my Twitch.
You got yourself a favorite. You and your Days of Thunder.
I realized yesterday I was singing In the Days of Wonder, and then I was like, well, that's probably has to do with somebody in my chat. And I just thought it was weird that I heard Wonder instead of Thunder, or just remembered it that way. I don't really know. But either way, it's there. The second one is T-Pain's Pizzle Pack. T-Pain, if you don't know who T-Pain is, you are way too young to be here.
T-Pain is, I'm sorry,
is a huge producer and recording artist, and he streams on Twitch. And when this thing first started, he said, you know, let me do you all a favor, let me do you all a solid. I'm gonna start producing music just for you to use on your stream. It's gonna be copyright free, and you can play it as much as you want. And the last time I checked, which was about like 3 months ago, he has so many fucking songs on there. Like,
oh my god,
albums and albums worth. And I actually the intro and outro to my YouTube videos is one of the songs from that, and I have never been dinged on YouTube, and I love it so much because one of my viewers, mods, supporters, friends told me that the music I used to use was incredibly boring and made them want to go to sleep, and then here I come with a video and I'm just and it was just it fucked with them. So they were like, you know, you need more hype music, more like something. And I was like, well, who's more fucking hype than T-Pain? Let's do it. Let's go. And so that's what the intro outro music is now. And
also adding on to T-Pain's Pistol Pack, I peeked in his stream recently, and he said there was going to be a part two. If it's either coming out or it's already out. But he's working on he's doing a part two for the Pizzle Pack, so there's going to be even more songs. Because I tried to scroll through that. No, there's no end. It just keeps going.
No, but that's good because it's more variety. And you have people who stream anywhere from an hour and a half to 8 hours per stream or more even.
Those 24 hours and 12-hour streams.
And the third option, which I have not looked into, I haven't tried, but I've heard many partner streamers and other people use it, is from a content creator by the name of Harris Heller, and he has put together a compilation. I think it's a mixture of songs that he has created and also like other songs that people may or may not know that is not copywritten. One example is Take On Me from the 80s. Apparently that's not copywritten. And no, it's not. Shit. Tig has ideas for our own stream now. There we go. At least that's what's on the list. There may be other ones that I can't remember right now that are on that list, but that's another, and I'll find a link for that. I'm sorry, Harris. I just, I really like the things that I already have, but it's just another option. So there are options out there for people who are worried and scared and paranoid about getting dinged. Now, the thing that I want people to take into consideration is most of the time, Twitch specifically, and again, this is content creation in general, but I know mostly about Twitch stuff because this is where I spend most of my time. About 3 or 4 times every single year, Twitch likes to scare all of us with possibly, our channel being banned and shit like that. With DMCA strikes and stuff like that. But in the almost 3 years that I've been doing this, I have not known of any affiliate getting in trouble. It's always a partner, and they always say something like, oh, just delete all your clips and all your your VODs and stuff like that, and you'll be just fine. Unless we don't like you, and then we'll ban you. But that's very rare. In some cases, unfortunately, because it's not always just about DMCA strikes. Sometimes it's about throwing a cat over your shoulder or throwing around the N-word and getting a pass for some fucking reason. But so it's just tread lightly, I guess is what I'm saying. Be careful, but be confident, if that makes sense. Be confident in what you're putting out in the world, and be confident that if I don't know how to word this correctly. But like, okay, so for a good example is obviously I do YouTube. So I have a foot in the door. If you're worried about this, make sure you have a foot in the door on some other platform, whether it's Facebook or it's YouTube, or maybe it's something that's up and coming that not a lot of people know about yet. There's also DLive out there. There's Caffeine. There's, lots of different fucking options if you really want to look for something. Yesterday when I logged into... When I opened my Streamlabs OBS, there was a little alert at the top that said something about like a new platform, and I don't know what it is. I don't remember. I don't even know if it's what I think it is. But there are things that are coming out all the time, especially with the fall of Mixer. I did not add that to the list because I just assumed it would come up at some point anyway, so it wasn't really necessary. But and we don't. At the end of the day, a lot of people say what Mixer said as a reason for their downfall was bullshit. I don't even remember what it was, but it was essentially like, we can't keep up with the influx of your interest, so we're just gonna shut this down. So a multi-billion-dollar company of Microsoft is gonna shut down a live streaming service because they can't keep up with the demand. Sure. Yeah, all right, cool. And a year before that,
I got at least 2 theories on why Mixer shut down.
Content creators for over $1 million contracts. But go off, Tig. Go ahead. Sure.
So the first theory is going to be the simplest one. Before I came to Twitch, that's where I was streaming on Mixer because it was simple. Just press the button and there you go. It's like that for Twitch now, more or less, but it didn't used to be. But Mixer really was like, press this button, you're live now. That was it. That's all you had to do. But the problem came in where I'm in the middle of streaming. The thing is still up on the screen, but if you look at my computer, or if you're watching the stream, it's completely blank. It cut off. No warning whatsoever. It's just left. So nobody was going to keep dealing with that either. So that's one theory. Another one is because I read a story of a former employee about how she was severely mistreated because of her race. They gaslit her and all this stuff. They didn't take any of her complaints or, ideas or anything like that seriously. She said she was the only Black girl in the whole office of where she was. And I feel like that story got out and people was like, no, we're not condoning this shit. We're not going to stick with this. First of all, it makes her ain't that fun anyway. And second of all, now your race is on top of that. We're not dealing with this. So we left. It's not that y'all couldn't keep up with demands. Y'all do that shit every year with, new consoles and everything. You just got called on your shit and now you don't want to atone for it. So we'll just leave altogether. Appreciate you.
I believe there was a mail too that said he had worked for them for a bit. And
I wouldn't doubt that.
kind of like the same shit happened. I can't remember his name right now because I saw a big old Twitter post about it, and it was
a Twitter post. It was whatever that thing is you use to expand the Twitter post or whatever.
Twit longer, yeah.
There you go, yeah. So I don't doubt that it was a guy too, but the one I read, it just so happened to be about a girl.
Oh.
But that's what I think actually happened. It's like y'all got called on your shit, and instead of doing better, you just left altogether.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. 100%.
I guess. I mean, you could have apologized and done better, but I guess not everybody's on that.
Too much effort.
Type thing.
Goes back to the entitlement and privilege.
Yep. Like, we don't have to. We're going to buy our crap anyway. Like, I can stop.
Right. So basically, just kind of going back a little bit to DMCA, because I did have a question recently about song requests. I mean, obviously, what I'm gonna recommend is if you're paranoid about this sort of situation, do not have song requests. Simple as that.
Don't have it.
Because you can't trust people. You can't be like, hey, non-copyrighted music only. Because people are gonna play what the fuck they want. They're not gonna search Google or YouTube to find some song that they really like. They're gonna want it. They do song requests because they want to hear a certain song, and the odds of them knowing a copyright-free song is not likely. But the next topic, I'm just gonna jump right back into it because we kind of finished talking about DMCA. But if you ever have any questions or anything like that, you can always come to my Twitch channel. Again, link will be down in the description, or you can just ask it in the comments here. It's fine. I'm always willing and open to answer anything in regards to streaming, or content creation in general. But I will say too, I've been doing this less than 3 years, and I still feel like I don't have really any business to be giving anybody advice. But I also realize that, if you've only been doing this for a short amount of time, then obviously 3 years sounds really good. And, maybe I know some things. And I do know some things, but I will never be like, oh, people should definitely come to me for advice because I know everything. I'm going to charge you too on top of it. No, fuck that shit. Advice should be free, especially if you ask for it. But the next topic that we have is kind of a big one. It starts with a little seed, but it's a big ugly plant. and so basically, when I sent Tig topics of discussion so that she was kind of prepared and stuff like that, and actually Pete Dog, one of my community members and friends, VIPs on Twitch, wanted us to kind of talk about this because it is kind of a pop culture thing, and I love talking about pop culture. Though to be honest, I've kind of kept away from a lot of stuff since we had the election and all other kind of stuff. But this was something that started shortly after we recorded the first Taurus talk, which happened in it was either February or March. I don't remember now, but. The main topic here is Doja Cat / self-hatred. So Doja Cat, if you don't know who she is, you're probably living under a rock. But she is a rapper, occasional singer, I think.
I don't know. I don't know.
It depends on if you believe in auto-tune or not, that sort of thing. But anyway. Yep. Demi Lovato can tell you a lot about autotune.
Rude.
But anyway, she was discovered as being in these I guess it was like Nazi propaganda type white supremacist like video chats. I can't even remember the website or anything like that.
I want to say it's that. What is it called?
Tiny
It's
chat?
Omegle or some shit. Whatever
Okay.
that is.
Omegle.
I want to say that's where it was.
Omegle. One of those things. And there was like 20 or 30 people in this block. And she was one of the people. Almost immediately after it kind of came out and somebody more or less outed her on Twitter, I think is where it originally came from. She says, that's not me. It's not me. It's very fucking clearly her. It's very fucking clearly her.
Girl, your forehead is the most distinguishing factor on your face. You gonna talk about it's not you. We know it's you. You know it's you. The damn moon knows it's you. It's you.
I feel like I can't say anything about physical features, so I'm just keeping myself.
I can say her forehead big.
But
That's the damn truth.
Pete Dog, I was talking about how you shouldn't put your face mask in areas except for your mouth and nose, and you put it on your fucking forehead. Okay,
my face is clean, thank you.
You go put hand sanitizer on your face now. So Pete Dog, and here's the thing, in my Twitch channel, and I guess this kind of goes back to DMCA a little bit, but you know, I do allow song requests at this moment. It won't always be that way, but I do right now. And so sometimes people will request her, but I have asked people not to do that. In fact, because I don't want to support self-hatred, which is pretty much what she has given us and promoted, if you will. She has talked about her hair. She has talked about her skin. She has talked about other people that she doesn't like that are darker than her. She has said things like, I'm so grateful that I'm light skinned and I can pass as not black sometimes, and stuff like that. And I am paraphrasing, but that's more or less what she has said before in the past. In the industry, the music industry is unfortunately filled with shit like this. There are lots of artists that can be named, but they're not as vocal about it. They just do things instead of say things. One of them is the lead singer from an ex-female group and has been getting away with it for many years without being called out, and I have no idea why. But she gets lighter every single year. And so
Who? Look, I
Miss Knowles, baby.
Oh shit.
But anyway, but Doja.
Keep it up.
The only thing I guess that I could maybe say with Doja is at least she fucking embraced it and was honest in those chat rooms. But one of the things that Pete Dog really wanted me to look at was this apology video that she posted. I guess it was on Instagram, I think. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. And I remember very specifically that after this whole thing kind of happened, and I let Tig know because she doesn't really do Twitter, and that's more or less where it was. I sent her all this stuff, and I think it was like the next day or maybe 2 days later or something like that, you know, she saw Doja got online and was doing a live, and she went there and she told me that this apology was just on a continuous loop, and it was just bullshit. It was her making excuses, and she's just sitting there trying to save her career. And honestly, I'm pretty sick because she's still getting all these opportunities, award shows, people are wanting to collaborate with her, and I don't fucking get it. And to say that, oh, she's young and she just made a mistake, I'm so fucking tired of people saying that shit. So fucking tired, because at the end of the day, this goes back to being entitled and privileged again. It doesn't matter what shade of person you are, you can still be entitled and privileged, and she clearly is, and people are allowing her to get away with this. And like I was kind of saying before, I don't allow her songs to be played in my chat. I don't allow her features to be played in my chat because I don't want her to be advertised in my chat. Everybody that's played in my chat, you know, obviously I'm immediately associated with them. you know, and I don't want that playing. I don't want to.
You condone them.
I don't
want
to tell people that that's more or less okay, and I agree with what she did or did not do. But again, it's very clearly her. I will be posting a link to the video in the description so you guys can watch it too. I was thinking about maybe showing it on stream, but I didn't realize it's over 30 fucking minutes long. So Tig and I watched it before this. I think it's 33. 33 and some change. But you said it's on loop, so...
She left that shit loop for like 7 hours of her just making excuses of why she did it or why it's okay or whatever the fuck. Because after a while, I stopped listening because I didn't realize when I first got in there it was a loop. I just started asking, like me and the other people in the chat there was just saying, hey, say something recent. Like, what is the time right now? How many people are in this chat right now? Because she kept referring to a number that just wasn't true. She was saying like, I see it's like...
Right.
Yeah, it's like, I see it's this many people in here, and it'll be like way past that shit. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Can you not read? Is you racist and stupid as shit? Which one is it? Like, so people in chat are like, oh, say something recent. Say this right now. Say this right now. And she's not saying it only because that's when it starts to sink in. This bitch has this shit on loop and has had it on loop apparently for 7 hours because she stayed live for a good minute. Like, the news has come and gone for the evening all 3 times. By the time she's still damn talking, it's just going and going. And it's like, girl, if you ain't sorry, then just say you ain't fucking sorry and let us have that. So we know what to do with you and your shitty little music. Because let's be honest, you're not that great. You're just catchy. You're a commercial. And you're fun for a minute and then you're annoying.
Honestly, a big part of her success came from when Animal Crossing came out, and that song that she did, it was kind of a part of a meme where there was 2 characters dancing, and I forget the Say So song, it was playing, and it was kind of like everywhere and stuff like that. And I don't remember the name of the characters because I played the game for about a month and a half maybe.
Yeah, you did
and then
not laugh.
Never picked it up again. But my point is that, you know, she contributed a lot of her success to a meme, more or less, or I guess you know, a dancing image. I forget what it is. And if I was better at editing, I would put the video right here for everybody to see. I'll put a link in the description. There's gonna be a lot of links in the description today, basically. Yeah, it was her song Say So, and it had 2 Animal Crossing characters, and they're dancing, and that kind of was everywhere for a little bit. But yeah, I'm sorry, I don't accept that apology. It was obviously, in my opinion, very manufactured. Even though at one point she comes in and she says, "Oh, I got bullet points. Let me go get my laptop. Let me go get my laptop. I got bullet points."
If you got an apology, why you got a PowerPoint?
Right. And honestly, in that kind of situation, I would rather her do something like what I'm doing. Talking to the camera, nothing extra. She didn't really have anything extra, but just being sincere. I didn't feel any sincerity from that. I felt like somebody from her team wrote it and told her to do this and say it to kind of save her ass. And apparently it worked for some people, but it doesn't work for me. It doesn't cut it for me. You know, if you want to enjoy her music, go enjoy her music, but I'm not supporting that. I refuse.
It worked for the people who are perfectly fine with shitting on dark-skinned women themselves. That's why.
And the same thing with Tory Lanez and what happened with him and Megan Thee Stallion. Yep. He can choke. He you know, he said, "I'm not guilty. I didn't shoot her in the foot." Motherfucker. There were so many reports. There were images. There was video footage. You definitely shot her. You definitely shot her.
And she came out and said it. You shot me on your shit.
Yeah, we were not in that vehicle, so we don't know exactly what transpired in that situation, but we saw what happened after. She was clearly bleeding from the foot. You shot her. You should be lucky you didn't hit her in a situation and fucking killed her, because that very could have easily fucking happened. And I think the thing that pisses me off the most in that situation, aside from what is obvious, is the fact that, in my opinion, it was done as like some weird promotional stunt, because he very shortly after came out with an album that talked about the fucking incident. And, you know, I mean, she came out with an album today. Yay. But the thing is like, it came off very like, I don't think she was a part of it. And I'm not going to go into like all these theories and shit or anything like that. But it just seemed really weird timing. Because like I said, about a week later, he came out with an album discussing the very situation. So in my opinion, he did it as a promotional thing. And I think he did have a hit. I don't remember the name of the song, but he had a hit about 11, 12 years ago, because I looked it up on Wikipedia at the time. Because I was like, who the fuck is this? But, you know, and Megan was just kind of blowing up because of WAP with Cardi B, you know, and they had both been in the industry for a bit, but, you know, that whole thing really put a light on both of them, even more so, you know, especially Megan. And, you know, and I'm sure she talks about it on her new album. I haven't been able to listen to it yet, but I'm definitely going to order it today, and probably stream it as well. Not on Twitch, just in general. But, you know, that whole situation and the Doja Cat situation, you know, they aren't completely related, but there is some relation in there.
There is, because they're both rooted in hatred towards dark-skinned Black women. Mm-hmm. People are completely fine with shitting on them for the sake of lighter counterparts such as myself and other people, and they're totally fine with that. That's why when Megan got shot, she's the clear victim here. She has been shot, and people are still like, well, that's what you get for trying to have a hot girl summer. Bitch, are you serious? That's just the type of shit they're saying. Like, oh, you have hot girl summer now, hot girl this, that, and third now, looking like a man anyway. Like, the fuck does any of that have to do with the fact that this man shot her? Right. At essentially point blank range, and God knows what head ass reason he had. Mm-hmm. Nothing. You just wanted to shit on a Black woman today. Now go take that same energy to your mama. Take it to your grandma. Take it to whichever relative raised your goofy ass, and try that shit again.
Yes. So at the end of the day, and unfortunately, all of this stuff kind of relates to the recent election that we had.
Sadly.
Now, one of my rules on Twitch is that I don't talk about any politics or any religion or anything like that. And if I do, it's very like, you know, little bits here and there, or I kind of like I talk about it a little bit kind of in code. So if you're not paying the fuck attention, then you're gonna be lost as shit. Because the thing is these are two very heated subjects in general. But the way that I see Taurus talk and the way that I see my YouTube channel is that you get to see a little bit more. You get to know me a little bit more. You get to know Tig a little bit more. Love, or maybe whoever else might be involved in whatever there is. But here, I think it's really important to talk about the election and the things that happened. We don't have to go into detail of everything, but just kind of like how it impacted us, because obviously, again, Black Lives Matter was big this year. You know, coronavirus, COVID-19 was big this year. You know, and we just had a lot of fucking shit going on that centered around the election and politics in general. And again, I want to say that Black Lives Matter and corona, you know, virus COVID-19 are not at their roots political, but it fucking became political because people made it that way. And it's a shame because none of those things never needed to be that way. You know, Black Lives Matter shouldn't have existed to begin with, just because it never should have been a problem what they were trying to take care of. But this is the society that we fucking live in. And coronavirus COVID-19, we couldn't really escape that, but it definitely could have not been a thing or as bad as it had gotten if people had just done the things that they needed to do. And I don't want to get back into that again because we already kind of cover that. But the thing is, and I have to take it back kind of to the Obama presidency, because let me tell you something. The Obama election was my very first election. It was the first election that I was able to vote in.
I think it was mine too.
You know, and that doesn't surprise me. You know, and that was a big fucking deal. It was a huge fucking deal. It was the first time a Black man had ever run for president in this entire country that I can remember, and also got to be the elect for the Democrats. You know, and I cried. I cried when he got elected. And it wasn't because I had voted for him. It wasn't just because of that. It's because we had broke so many glass ceilings, as they say, at that point. It was a huge fucking moment. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I just remember like Oprah being there and just, she was sad, but she was happy at the same time. I was like, yes, me too. and I did, you know, and she does this a lot, and I don't know why, but she always did that. My grandmother used to watch her all the time, and she did this a lot. I don't know. It wasn't fighting. It was just excitement.
I can't explain it, but I did something similar once he won, and I know where I got it from. I got it from the Ali movie, Muhammad Ali movie, when he like wins a match and he's like stands on the corner of the ropes and everything. He puts his hands up like this. I did the same thing. It just feels right.
Well, and I screamed too. I was so elated. I was so excited because I just didn't think I really didn't think that we were ready for anybody to be black in office. I just didn't. Just because we are so inherently racist in the US that I just didn't think people were ready for that. I mean, obviously there were a lot of people who were ready because he got the presidency, but I'm just saying, I honestly thought we would see a white woman in office before we would ever see a black man, just because of how horrible we fucking are. But it was the opposite. It was the opposite what happened because Clinton ran in the last election and just didn't get it. She was close, but she didn't get it. So, and that's interesting in itself, right? Is that we're ready for a black male, but we're not ready for a woman yet. But now we have a woman vice president. I'm very excited about that. Well, as of the 20th. Anyway. Black Asian. She's Blasian. She's a Neo. And I'm very excited about that. The singer. Not because he's Asian too. He's a black Asian.
Oh, for goodness sake!
And he's beautiful. Anyway, she's beautiful too. You know. Right. But anyway, so when Obama got in office, I cried, and then when he got reelected, I didn't really cry, but I was happy because we've been here, and I was like, oh, he gonna get it. I don't. Fuck off. Just go away. Whoever he was going up against, I don't even remember now. I think Jeb Bush was in there. I don't know, but he didn't have a best chance in hell.
No, what was his name? Romney?
Mitt Romney.
Was it him?
There we go. The guy from Utah who wanted us all to be Mormon. Not shaming Mormons, just I do have some experience with them, but I've never been Mormon. But anyway, yes, Mitt Romney. He did defeat Mitt Romney, and I was so happy. But again, I didn't cry that time just because it's like we had done that, and I was already pretty certain he would win. So then when Obama was leaving and Biden was leaving, and Trump was there, I was like, what the fuck? This is a reality show person. This is a multimillionaire. This is a business owner. This is not somebody who should be president of the United States. In my opinion, and Donald Trump won somehow. Yes, 4 years ago, not now, 4 years ago. But anyway, I always, for some fucking reason, I just assumed that people had to serve some sort of office before they could be president of the United States. If you want to run. But I just assumed that you had to have some sort of fucking experience before you got into office. Like, I don't go to a hospital and say, hey, I'm a heart surgeon. Right? I don't do that because I don't have any fucking experience. So why are we allowing people to run for, well, again, you could run if you want to, but to become president, I feel like you need some sort of experience, whether it's in the House or the Senate, or you're a governor or even a fucking mayor. I don't care, but something, a business owner who had several failed businesses.
How many times
became the president of the United States, and I just don't fucking get it. And I used to be really into politics. I just found them absolutely fascinating, mostly from a like psychological level, really, just like as far as like body language and stuff goes. That shit just fascinates me. But when Trump ran, I originally, social media got so fucking nasty. So many people I knew got so fucking nasty, and it surprised me because these were people that I didn't think felt a certain way, like Trump did or whatever. And it just surprised me because Trump has never in his life had shown us, especially when he was running, has ever shown us that he was for LGBTQIA, that he was for people of color, that he was for women in general, you know, except for sex objects, you know. So the fact that this man not only ran but got elected just fucking blew my mind. And I took 5 months off of Facebook because I didn't want to see all this horrible shit again. And I'm so happy I did. And I had people telling me, you are so, like, in private, obviously, because it wasn't on Facebook, but they were like, you definitely pulled the right move in taking a break. Twitter, I spent most of my days on Twitter, and Twitter is great in that I can just block words, so I don't have to see them. So Donald J. Trump, those 3 words were all blocked.
J is a letter.
All of them. Yes, the fucking middle name too. Actually, I should probably at least get rid of that one because I can't remember what it is. I think it's like John, of course, because it's a basic bitch American name. But anyway, sorry to all the Johns, but it's pretty fucking basic, you know? And my name isn't much better, but it's pretty old fashioned.
Same.
You know, that's true.
That's what happens when you have boomer parents.
But you know, I just, you know, the thing that I said was, while I did cry when Obama was elected, because I was so happy for so many minorities, not just people of color or gay people or women, but just anybody that had been struggling for so many years. And I thought he would, you know, make it better for us. But I also cried when Donald Trump became president because I was fearful. I was scared. I was scared as a gay male in America because this man had never shown that he was for us. And then he had a vice president, Mike Pence, who looked like a fucking X-Men villain, you know? And so I was incredibly worried for me and what I would say my people, you know, and my mind just went all over the place. And Tig knows, and a lot of my community members on Twitch know that my mind just goes to crazy fucking places. I thought this man was gonna be locking gay people in cages and shipping us off to wherever, you know, or making it so that we would fucking starve to death, or, you know, all these horrible fucking things. And thankfully that didn't happen. But imagine if Trump won again. And he won by a very narrow margin, and he wanted to send a message to all of us. And there are people, of course, who still believe he won and everything was rigged. And, you know, Tig here, who is in Georgia, is going to go through another not a re-election, but a recount. Well, they are doing another voting situation, and it's just a fucking mess.
We have a runoff. We do have a runoff. And we did recount. I think it's already done. He lost twice.
Yes. And here's the thing. For all the fucking naysayers, and this is very important, even if that motherfucker had won Georgia, he would have still lost. Because Georgia has a lot of electoral votes, but it wouldn't be enough to make him president still. He would have had to have gotten Pennsylvania as well. He would have had to have gotten Arizona, where I live. And one of my like goals, in a way, even though I didn't really like fight for it and I wasn't out marching the streets or anything like that, like the woman in Georgia was. I'm so sorry, I forget her name right now, but she was, you know, a lot of people have contributed the I will say the success of Georgia. Georgia.
Oh my God.
Fuck, it's Georgia. Georgia getting Biden in office. Stacey Abrams. Thank you. She got a lot of signatures. She got a lot of women and I assume men to go to the polls and sign up and register and that sort of thing. So thank you. Thank you so much. Because again, even though he would have won, Trump, if he had gotten Georgia, it's good that we sent a message that no, you are so horrible that we're going to actually flip a fucking state. And it's crazy because Arizona was also flipped where I live. And that was one thing that I really wanted to see because I don't plan to be here in the next election. So I love that it turned blue. I absolutely love it. And I know Tig is happy as well.
Oh yeah, I looked up just to see when's the last time, if ever, that Georgia has been blue. Georgia has not been blue since I was 3 years old.
Oh my goodness. All those horrible presidents.
Hello?
Oh God. But and I didn't look it up for Arizona because I feel like that would depress me. But you know, the Southwest is not known to be very open-minded, with the exception of California, apparently. But depending on where you are, people like to argue about California because it's so fucking big. But you know, again, either way, even if Trump had gotten Georgia, and even if actually he had gotten Arizona, he still wouldn't have won. He would have been very close, but he would have won. So I'm just really happy how it ended up. And I do think I can't remember if I said this to you before stream or if I said this while we've been recording, but I definitely think that we will see Harris and Biden put forth something that will make us go back on a quarantine, which makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. For it.
And, I'm really hoping for that, because I want this done. I hope they do it, and I hope they implement a fine to go with it, because that's what I've heard what other countries have done.
A big fucking fine. Like,
yeah, I've heard
like $1,200 fucking dollars, because it is usually people that just think, you know, well, I very strongly feel that way, because, you know, a lot of people, regardless of what president we have and whether people want to admit this or not, a lot of countries look up to America. And sometimes I question why, but they do. Yeah, and they want a lot of systems that we have and stuff like that. My point is that we have a lot more resources than some countries have, and this should have been gone already. This should have been gone. This should have been gone no later than like late June, but we still have it because, again, entitlement and privilege and stupidity, really. You know, they've come together in holy matrimony to create people who just spread this shit everywhere.
Polygamy.
Oh God!
Look,
there's a TLC show right there.
It probably
Not a sponsor.
is.
It probably is. It probably is. I saw one the other day that because I changed it from CNN all the time because I stayed up. I was literally on the couch for 5 fucking days watching this election, typing out all the states
details
that are shit and all the states that are good to live in. I will happily show those spreadsheets, if you will, to people if they want to. I did post it on Twitter and I sent it to Tig because it was interesting to me. I find that shit very interesting, extremely interesting. The thing that I will say is I'm extremely sad, though, how close everything was in certain states. That is fucking depressing, because in some places it was like a point difference. It wasn't even like a full percent. It was a fucking point. And that is fucking depressing, and just blows my mind that there's so many people who still support the giant man baby that is Trump, you know. And
I think it's because those are the ones that are from a different time where things were a bit more acceptable. He reminds them of the good old days.
For them, the good old days of racism.
Exactly, because I don't know who was it, but there was like a senator or something. It was like, instead of going back to the good old days of segregation, and this dude is like old, clearly somewhere in the boomers, somewhere between boomers and older than boomers.
Well, and
he's somewhere in there, and he
point,
said that shit with full confidence.
Biden is older than Trump, and he doesn't feel the way that Trump does. So using age as an excuse and year as an excuse is bullshit.
Agreed.
And we always knew that. But it just further hammers home the fucking point.
Yep.
Oh God. It's a lot. But I was so elated when the election was officially projected. And it sucks we still have this stuff going on. But again, he wants to be a giant man baby and do lawsuits and shit and just make everything more difficult than it needs to be. And we always knew that this election was going to be different, more complicated, but it didn't need to be this much more complicated, because, you know, we had early ballots, we had ballots, absentee ballots. I've always voted by absentee ballot. I have never waited in a fucking line in my entire life. I would like to once. I know that sounds weird, but just to experience it. But, you know, I've never had to do that, and I've always been thankful I had to do that. But my like parents signed me up for it a very long time ago, and it stuck with me from Michigan to Arizona. It's very fucking weird, but I'm grateful for it. But
yeah, this was my first year doing the absentee ballots, and it was only because of COVID. I didn't want to potentially bring anything home or catch anything or anything like that. And it was real simple.
You were smart. Smart. And something that they kept saying a lot was the people who were voting in person, and I just thought this was really fascinating, but the people who were voting in person, most of them are voting for Trump. Whereas the people who were early ballots and absentee ballots, and there's another word that I can't remember ever, but they were mostly for Biden, which is interesting. Yeah. So in my opinion, what I heard and saw was the Bidens were responsible, the Trumps were not, because they did it.
What you heard and saw was the effects of him saying, "Oh, mail-in votes aren't valid."
Right. And I don't care. And I had it, and I beat it.
Yeah, so everyone on his side said, okay, we'll vote in person to make sure they're not stealing our votes or whatever the fuck. Right. And it's none of that shit.
Right.
It all still counts. So with the rest of us having common sense, we stayed our asses home, COVID-free, and voted.
And if you have the ability,
unfortunately for disabled people, you kind of need those absentee ballots anyway, because not all voting places are accessible to people with disabilities. Not all of them have ramps or ways they can get up and things like that. Right. So that's another thing why I think it turned out that way.
Mm-hmm. And if you have the ability, meaning you're not at work or you're not at school, or doing something else that day, to watch the inauguration of Biden and Harris, tune in, because I think there's going to be a lot of drama, and I think it's going to be really interesting. My hope is that we see this motherfucker kicking and screaming as he's being hurled out the door. But I don't know if that will be true or not.
2 more topics
left. 2 more topics. And the next one is something that happened very recently, and it's very kind of confusing. But basically, Twitch came out with Monster Cat, which is also a I forgot to mention this, but is also like a free, copywritten free music source for streamers. I've never used it because I've heard it, but I've never used it. A lot of the songs on there, they mess with my sound sensitivity, and I don't like it because a lot of them use like gaming sounds, like old timey gaming sounds,
like
on repeat, and it really gets to me after a while. But basically, from what I can tell, what Twitter and Twitch have teamed up to do is that you can purchase affiliate by buying Monster Cat services that are originally free. So a lot of things that don't make sense, but let me just read you the tweet that came out a few days ago on the 17th. So that was 3 days ago. And it says, Monster Cat and Twitch are teaming up to bring fast track affiliate status for Monster Cat Gold subscribers. Gold provides thousands of songs to use in your live streams, and as an affiliate, Twitch unlocks monetization tools for your channel. So that's I'm just confused because again, Monster Cat is a free service. So the only thing that I could maybe think of, and again, I haven't listened to it enough on purpose to know, but the only thing that I can assume is maybe they throw in commercials, and because a lot of other streaming services can be free, like Pandora is a great example. Pandora is free, but if it has commercials like every 2 or 3 songs. So if you don't want the commercials, you can pay for more than that. Or you can pay a fee every month. I don't know what it is because I've switched to Amazon Music because I have Prime. But anyway, but you can pay a fee per month, and they take away the commercials, and that's the only thing I can consume. Now, here's something that just happened, and I'm not making this up, but I kind of wish I was. So I clicked on the link where you can go to purchase the gold membership from Monster Cat, so then you can become an affiliate. The page cannot be found. So I'm assuming that people complained enough that it has now been reversed, or maybe they're trying to change the wording. Now, furthermore, I had a link in the description so you can see for yourself. Furthermore, I saw somebody, I think Buffy, another one of my community members and mods and supporters, sent me a link to someone. I want to make sure that's not showing up on the screen. It shouldn't, but you never know. Anyway, He sent me a link to somebody who was, I don't want to say they were endorsing it, but they weren't really against it either. And I'm not going to say their name, but what they said in the tweet was, who fucking cares? Let a person buy their affiliate status. Y'all act like you fought in a war and lived in the trenches eating only saltines for months to get it. Twitch is greedy. I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. Now, from that standpoint, I kind of agree in the sense of the greediness.
Yeah, that's where I was
because
going. Yep.
Twitch is always trying to find ways to make more money. Something else that happened recently, if you don't know, if you aren't into Twitch that much or anything like that, also, how did you find my channel here? But anyway, they tried to make it so that we had ads in the middle of our streams. And a lot of people got upset about that because right now the way that it works is you can either pre-roll ads, which means you see them before you see the stream at the beginning when you come to the chat, whenever that happens, or the stream, or you can turn those off, but then you have to run ads yourself, choose to run ads. If you don't run ads, then they more or less force the ads back on you, and that's different. But what they were trying to do is just at random times during a fucking stream, they would roll an ad. And for example, I actually went to a partner streamer's stream a few days after this was mentioned, and about every 10 to 15 minutes, an ad was rolled. It was so fucking obnoxious. And of course, people are just like, put on ad block, put on ad block. Well, apparently, people put on ad block. But Twitch actually got smart and started detecting people who had an ad block, and it would come up with a thing that says, and I wish I had the tweet, but somebody took a screen capture and it said, "We noticed you have an ad blocker. Mm-hmm. If you don't," more or less, I'm paraphrasing at this point, but if you don't turn it off, we'll continue to roll ads to you every few minutes until you turn it off. And then what happened is about a week and a half later, Twitch came back on Twitter and said, okay, we have disabled this feature for now, but we might bring it back in the future with some changes. And we don't know anything about that. But going back to the affiliateship and purchasing affiliateship, which appears to not even be a thing anymore, but it was. And here's my thing. I worked for a month to get affiliateship. And affiliateship, and I'm sorry if anybody takes offense by this, I really don't mean it, but affiliateship in comparison to partnership is much easier to obtain. You need 3 average viewers. Yeah. You have to stream for like 25 hours in a month. I think it's actually less than that. I'm not really sure. It's like maybe 10 to 15 actually. And then you need to stream on 3 or 4 what they call unique days. And all this really means is that you have to stream on a couple different days. You can't just do a 15-minute stream all in one day and call it good. Originally, when I read this, I thought it meant like I have to stream on fucking holidays. That's not what it means. Because it was like, oh, that's a unique day, a Veterans Day, Memorial Day, like God. Halloween. I don't know. But that's not what it means. It's not what it means at all. But I had to look through Google to find out what the fuck that means. But my point is that for somebody to just not even stream at all, but just buy affiliateship on paper from day one, is extremely disrespectful to people who work for it. Again, it took me a month. For some people, it takes a few days. For some people, it takes a few years. And that's just shitting on the people that happens to. And I feel like, honestly, if you allow people to purchase affiliateship, you should allow them to purchase partnership too. Because here's the thing. I just want more emotes. I just want more emote slots. That's it. And that's what partners get. I mean, they get other stuff too, but that's one of the biggest things that they get that I fucking want is I just want more emote slots for my community to enjoy. That supports me. I'm thankful for bit emotes, but in general, like, I just don't feel like you should be able to buy a status. That's so dumb. I think the over the top example that I used and I kind of used earlier too is like, I can't go and buy a doctorate to become a fucking heart surgeon or a brain surgeon. And I know, oh, you can't compare that to content creation and blah, blah, blah. No, but to somebody who actually worked hard is what I'm comparing it to. And then just being given it easy is just so stupid, you know? And one of the things that I was saying, like with affiliateship instead of partnership, is like for affiliateship, you just need 3 average viewers. But you know what? Like I said, for some people, that takes fucking years. It takes fucking years, because it's not just about, oh, I'm going to their stream today and then not going for like 5 or 6 days. And then, you know, you get it. It averages out through a month. You know, whereas partnership is 75 people. So, you know, you have to work harder for that, but you have to work hard regardless, in my opinion. And you can't just have people sitting in your chat. It won't count. It won't count. They need to be active. They need to talk. Twitch doesn't want to tell you that, but that is one of the things they want people to be doing, is being talkative and active in your chat for it to count. So if you have 75 people in your chat and you're trying to become partner, but only like 8 or 9 of them are talking, Twitch is going to be like, well, fuck you. You ain't getting no check mark. You can kiss our ass.
Those could even be bots. Those might not even be people. They might just be bots.
Exactly. Because you got like Commander Root and stuff, and I've had like a newer one. I don't know if it's a bot though. Like I've had some newer ones that are like, let's go gamers, let's go streamers, let's go music. And they don't ever talk, but they're in my like stream elements leaderboard thing. I always just, you know, delete their points and get rid of them, but they come back. So I don't know. It's weird.
Interesting.
Do you have anything to add to the purchasing affiliateship, which doesn't even seem like a thing now, but might be in the future?
I mean, until it's a thing again, then I'll give, because for me, I don't want to speak on something that's not even a thing.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Well, it just says page not found. So I mean, maybe they're just rewriting it, or maybe the page is offline. But my hope is that just enough people fucking complained, and it's not going to be a thing anymore. But I don't know. That's
kind of what it sounded like to me. That they got enough complaints, they saw enough backlash. Like, hey, that's real disrespectful to those of us who actually worked to get this. Whereas I could have just been paid and been done with it.
Right.
If this is what you wanted to do, then this is probably something you should have done from jump, instead of springing it on so many people after they worked for it for so long. This always should have been your option at first, to me, if that's what you were going to do at all.
Agreed. All right. So the last thing that we have here is actually a question from my community. And I'm just going to read what it says, and then we'll answer it. And it says, how do you communicate with new viewers and maintain relationship with communities, since they are people you have never met IRL? In my Discord, I do have a Taurus Talk section, and you can ask any question you want. Hopefully it doesn't pertain to like DBD, which is what I mostly play, and Tig doesn't really play at all. So that wouldn't make sense for us to really talk about. But in general, like streaming shit is fine. But again, as I said earlier, I don't really tout myself around as saying I'm an advice giver, ask me advice or anything like that. And I don't think I would ever do that, because to me that just comes off very like just very like selfish and into yourself and yada yada. But if you're brand new and starting out and I can help a little bit, then I'll do that. I'll help out with that, absolutely. So this is kind of a big question, but it doesn't have to be. And really what I would say is the 2 biggest universal things is food and music. Almost everybody has to eat, right? And then almost everybody enjoys music. So you could talk about these things.
Who doesn't?
But right. But a lot of time, the biggest thing that I would say is try your best not to overthink. And there's a lot of irony in me saying that because I overthink a lot. But the more relaxed you are, the more open you are, the more honest you are, the more people are going to want to get to know you and be a part of your community. At least in my experience. it definitely helped. Again, I'm going to mention my theater background. It definitely helped that I was in theater. I met a lot of people I probably wouldn't otherwise. There's a lot of people that I had to interact with that I maybe didn't want to. And I'm not saying that you want those people in your community, but what it did is it made me more open and wanting to have those experiences and wanting people in my life and stuff like that. The best advice that I can ever really give anybody, and this is related, but you know, it's also kind of a little bit of a stretch in a way, is to take improv classes. Even if you just take one, because the thing is you can never start up a Twitch stream or a content creation situation in general and know exactly what's going to happen, whether it's interacting with people or it's with a game or it's with what you're talking about or whatever. And you kind of need to be on your toes, because at the end of the day, content creation is about entertaining other people. If you want to entertain yourself, don't stream, just play the game or talk to yourself in a fucking mirror. I don't really know. But so being a part of improv, and I didn't really take any classes. I knew a person that used to be part of something called Second City Comedy Club, and it was an improv group or club or group or both or something. I don't know, but it's a big deal. A lot of people that are on Saturday Night Live were once part of Second City, and so they. I'll make it clear, I didn't meet anybody that was ever on SNL. But these were people that were part of the same group that were on that show, and they would come in and we would have improv. Again, I don't really want to say them as classes because I never paid for anything, but we just kind of met up and had fun and that sort of thing. But a lot of, especially bigger cities, have improv classes, and it just helps you to kind of adapt yourself to situations that you didn't expect and people. And so it's really, really good. So even if you just take one class and you don't end up liking it or whatever, just do it. Just do it. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot just to deal with people, not even just streaming, but people in general. So, but again, just be yourself. Remember to always talk when you're streaming. Always. If you can't do that, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then I guess don't be a streamer. You know, sometimes I'm not talking, but it's usually because I'm thinking, and sometimes it's really hard to do both. And but people who like you and appreciate you will be okay with that. They'll be fine with that. They'll understand that. And at the end of the day, that's what you want your community to be anyway. You don't want to try to be a people pleaser and please all these people. And that's a lesson that I also had to learn the hard way, because I am a people pleaser. I like to make sure that everybody's happy as much as I can and that sort of thing. But it took me almost 3 years to realize, 2.5, almost 3 years, because I'm coming up on my 3-year anniversary as a streamer, but to realize that as much time as you spend trying to make people happy with you, you're not going to be your real self. You're going to be your phony self. And those people who are also phony and get to know the phony you are just going to leave. You can't depend on them in the long run. But the people who are real, when you're real, are going to more than likely stick the fuck around. Unless you reveal yourself to not be real.
Don't say you are.
Yeah. And that's also why I'm kind of against these, like, characters that people come up with on Twitch. You know, do what works with you, whatever the fuck you want to do, that's fine. But I would rather be real, open, honest, as much as possible, because I just feel like if I didn't, and those people don't, the real self is going to show up eventually, and people may not like what the fuck they see. So by starting off 100% real from the get-go, I don't have to fucking worry about that. There's one streamer that I watch, and again, I'm not going to name names, but I watch them. They are a gay male. They dress in drag. They have this, like, Scottish persona for some reason, and they're funny. They're very entertaining. They're funny. I think it's kind of like an homage to Mrs. Doubtfire, I think, kind of. But the thing is sometimes they take it a little too far. Like, one time they were saying what time it was in Scotland, and I was just like, somebody asked you what time it was. They weren't asking you what time it was in Scotland. Just say what fucking time it is. And not a lot of people are going to look up on Google, like, hey, what time is it in, you know, wherever, because they're just not. So just tell them what time it is. I just thought it took it a little bit too far. But again, that's not the kind of streamer that I really enjoy. There's a lot of people who have personas, and if you like personas, that's fine. But I just feel like in the long run, they're gonna end up showing their ass, and people may not like what they see. And then when all their viewers and supporters disappear, they shouldn't be surprised.
This is true.
Okay. I was out of focus. I mean, is there any other thing that you want to add to, like, either that question specifically, or maybe like streaming on Twitch in general for a newcomer? I know that you don't stream as much as you would like to, but I know you have knowledge.
Yeah. it's the reason why is what got me like that. Like, God damn it. So many cords, so much wasted money.
Yeah. I've been there too. So I know how it is. I know how it is.
Sorry, I had to stretch because I was getting a little tight. I will say, like, if you're going to do personas, in my opinion, just make sure that it's very clear that you are putting on this show, this one man with one woman, this one whatever show, that it is indeed a persona, and that you're not trying to portray that as who you actually are. Mm-hmm. Make that clear. It's really just piggybacking on what you said, because you pretty much hit everything. But it's like, I just want to reiterate, make that clear that this is a character and not who you are. Like, I can't think of an example. Like Will Smith in Bad Boys is not actually, he's not actually Mike Lowry. So don't get the two confused. Like, don't run up to him talking about I've been mugged. He can't do shit.
That actually reminds me of Dead by Daylight recently had an event where it was I forget his name right now, but he's one of the boys from Stranger Things with the list.
I don't know who, but I
know his first name in real life is Gatton, and then like his last name is like Mozzarella or something like that.
Wow.
But anyway, so Dead by Daylight for some reason did an event with him and Ninja and Ninja's wife for some reason, where they were playing Dead by Daylight, but they were playing like the Stranger Things characters that are in Dead by Daylight, like the Demogorgon and Nancy and Steve. And the chats on Twitch kept asking Gatton to sing. Oh, Dustin is his name in the show. They kept saying, Dustin, sing for us, and kept referring to him as Dustin,
as opposed to his actual name. That's annoying.
Yeah. Gatton got pissed off, and he was like, well, maybe if you call me by my real name, then I'll think about it. And apparently, according to a partner streamer, the chat was all upset because he got sassy.
No, this is a person.
Yeah,
an actual person. Right. This is not like he's not on Stranger Things right now.
Right.
He doesn't have to do. He's not. It's not like it's like Urkel. And you're asking him to do his lines.
Yeah, that's a good example.
You don't have to do that right now. Or Whitley, for those of you who watched A Different World, she ain't got to do the Dwayne right now.
Right.
She's off the clock.
Right. Or before Vern Troyer died, who was Mini-Me in Austin Powers.
Right.
People kept calling him Mini-Me, and back in the day, he would get so upset about it.
So I will add that to it. You are entertainment, but you are not obligated to do shit on your stream for your viewers that you don't want to do. Exactly. There's a time and place for everything. If you feel like doing it, and that's one thing, that's fine. But if your chat is essentially demanding something of you, you don't have to give them that. This is still your stream at the end. And if they don't like it, there's thousands of others that can take their place.
Yeah.
So just be mindful. You run this. There ain't no I'm the captain memes here.
Mm-hmm.
You run this shit. This is your show.
Right.
What do you want to do? Do you feel like doing this right now?
Yeah.
Another hint, though, whenever you do get affiliateship, however it happens, and you get your channel points, please don't put up channel points that you're not going to honor.
Yes.
If you have a redemption, honor that redemption.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't, then explain it, because I had one where I couldn't do it because of the game I was playing. It was die on purpose. Well, I tried. The game wouldn't let me die. So I'd like jump off a cliff or something, or I'll explain, okay, this isn't allowing me to do this right now, but I will redeem it with maybe another game. Don't say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then when you get called on it for not doing it, then it's like, well, I don't feel like it. Then don't have it there.
Right.
that defeats the purpose.
And don't, to kind of, because I know what situation you're talking about. So just to kind of, go with it as well. Don't treat your viewers like they're dumb, especially people that come around on a usual basis, almost a routine basis, just like when you stream. People, because most of your viewers aren't dumb. I mean, occasionally you will get people who come in there to piss you off intentionally and irritate you and yada yada. But if somebody is, a VIP or they're a moderator or they're, just somebody that's in your community on a constant basis, and so they see every single stream, and if they don't, then they're definitely checking your shit out on like social media or watching your VODs or whatever. Don't treat them like they're stupid. Okay, again, if they have redeemed points for you to do something, and you say, oh well, I did that last Thursday. They were probably in your stream last Thursday, and they know you didn't do it. So stop it. I know a Twitch streamer that again, no names. They like around probably about a year ago now. They were doing some sort of like, I think it was like a sub goal or like a bit goal or something like that, and the goal was to do a shirtless stream. And right away, I was like, "That's not, you can't do that, unless you have like tassels or some shit to cover up your nipples, because that's just the way it is." Something that we've talked about in previous Torch Talk episodes, which you can see in it. Okay, but anyway, and they still haven't done it. It's been a year, they still haven't done it. Even after I said something about like TOS or whatever, they said, oh, I'm gonna have like a certain camera angle and I'm gonna hide everything and yada yada. But the thing is you got money to do this. People gave you money to do this and you didn't do it. And you should have told people you were gonna do it to begin with, really. But it's just weird and obnoxious.
What angle do you get that would show that you're topless without showing you're topless? What angle is that? Is
the one
it the
that I
ass
have
angle?
now? Nipples are down here. You can...
like, is it belly cam? I don't understand. What angle is this? I just want to see.
They could maybe do like the thing where it's just framing their face, but the problem is then it's like we still don't know. So maybe like the top of their shoulders. I don't really know. But it was a male, but I'm not that really matters in the long run. But I'm just saying, like, I think they just didn't pay attention to TOS, like a lot of people don't do, and then they say things that they can't actually do. And it also reminds me of a streamer that they call themselves the twerk captain.
Oh,
and you can't twerk on Twitch. So I've never understood that. They've built an entire branding, an entire stream on something that you can't do, and it's against TOS. So
that's funny.
I really don't get it. It's so weird. It's so weird. So the question has always been, and I've never asked them, but the question has always been, does that mean you're the captain who oversees twerkers, or are you saying that you're the best twerker there is? And I'm okay with not knowing the answer, but I'm just saying, regardless of the answer, it's still, you've marketed yourself that's something against TOS. So I don't get it. I don't know. All right. Well, I think we are done here, unless you have something more to add.
Nope. I am good.
Okay. All right. And again, Love is not going to be joining us. I don't know when she may or may not. But again, I do want to do like a separate recording with her, just because I need more stuff on my channel. And continuing Taurus Talk with somebody else, it makes sense to me. A lot of people like Taurus Talk, it seems like. But we also want to do, I want to get more interest in it too, because we do want to do a live version of the show at some point. But I want to get more interest first. It will be fun. It will be fun. And in my head, what it will be is mostly like just chatting, and people will ask questions and then we'll answer them in our honest way.
That's what I want.
Same. That's always kind of been like, I wouldn't say my end game, but that would be like a highlight, if you will. So I think that's gonna conclude this episode. Thank you again so much, Just Tig, for joining me. I will send you a message later about like what social media links you want attached and that sort of thing. Because, you know, give me at least 3, and I'm sure you have them. But I'm just saying, you know, to keep in mind.
You will get 2, kind sir, because a third is
but there will be lots of fucking links in the description this time, including the Monster Cat link that apparently doesn't fucking work anymore. And hopefully everybody likes this better. I know last time when we recorded, I used images because I was just like, you know, nobody wants to get dressed and be on camera and yada yada, especially when I'm on it 5 days a week for 5 hours at a time typically, and this is my day off usually. So I just want to say the date real quick so that everybody knows. It is currently the 20th of November of 2020, because last time all the episodes were scattered so much and so much has happened that I just want people to know that if something develops new with the topics that we're talking about, hey, sorry, you know, we'll have another episode. I guarantee you. But you know, I just want the date to be noted, and the date will always be noted anyway when I upload them anyway, because that's the way YouTube works. But you know, I just think it's important to document it a little bit better, because like I said, I can't remember if we last recorded in February or March, but either way, there was a lot more stuff that blew up since, and that's why it was important for me to cover it here. And again, if anybody has anything they want to add in the Taurus Talk Discord, the Taurus Talk portion of my Discord, then, you know, feel free to at any time, including questions about anything from this video or any other video or anything in general, really. But thank you all again so much for watching and supporting. And hopefully we'll see you in the future.
Put on your mask.
No.